So I'm trying to finish up my Star Wars animated show reviews before the Maul comes out. At least the ones that tie into Maul. I don't know if I'm actually gonna ever really go back and do Resistance. I probably, what, I might do that. Maybe I'll do that after I do Force Awakens video. I don't know. We'll see. Don't hold me to that. Please don't. But Star Wars Rebels is a cool show for some of the things it introduced and brought back, but this was definitely a downgrade because if you don't know, this show came after Disney bought Lucasfilm. But when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they didn't really like that the Clone Wars show was airing on a different network, and the show had a good 5 season run, so they canceled it. What sucked about them canceling it though is that they were so far into season 6 that a lot of episodes got scrapped and it didn't really have a proper finale. And season 6, some of those episodes were finished and we didn't see get released. Eventually, they put them out on Blu-ray and released them on Netflix, and then later they revived the show, gave us one final season. But before that, the only continuation of the show was Star Wars Rebels, which right off the bat, let's start with my biggest negative with this show. I don't like the animation style. It is not very good. Like, it's not terrible. It's a pretty nice looking 3D animated show overall, but compared to how stylized and well realized that Clone Wars animated show was, great. The art of this show is based on Ralph McQuarrie's original concept art for Star Wars when he was working on the original trilogy. And when you look at a lot of that art, it's amazing art, but it's not art that's meant to be seen in motion like this. And so a lot of the character designs seem a little janky or not well thought out. Also, the animation is quite a bit more stilted. Also, this show is not really well directed like Clone Wars. Clone Wars has some amazingly well directed sequences and moments. About every episode, I think, had great moments of direction. This show does not. It's very flatly directed. Basically, if you don't know what this show is, though, to kind of summarize it a little bit, unlike Clone Wars, the show is not set during the Clone Wars. The show is set after Revenge of the Sith and some years before A New Hope, because Luke is still a child at this time. But basically, it follows the first group of rebels forming the rebellion. So you get Kanan, who's a fallen Jedi, who watched everyone who he knew die from Order 66. We have Zeb, which is I forgot what they call his species, but he's there. He's kind of like the most of the group. You got Hera, who's the captain. You got Choppers, the robot, and then you got Sabine, which is like a Mandalorian princess gone rogue, I guess. And then you have Ezra, who is Kanan's Padawan, who joins the group within the first couple episodes. So, I think what annoys me, honestly, in this first season is I don't really like Ezra. I think Ezra is a pretty bad character, especially this point in the show, because he acts a lot like Aladdin, but without any of the charm to make that character work. Like, he's a thief living on the streets on his own, and then he kind of grows a little bit of heart, and you see him change, but he always seems so inconsistent and some kind of whiny, especially these early episodes. And I do like some of the arcs that come where later, with him moving a little bit more towards the dark side, kind of that exploration. But Kanan, being his teacher and learning to, kind of come out of a shell after being recluded from the Force a little bit and kind of being, fearful of a lot of things. I like that the stuff that it creates for that character. Kanan's a really great character. I don't think I really need to say more than that. He's really well realized. But everybody else feels like, okay, I don't really care for a lot of it. The villain of this season, the Inquisitor, I think is fantastic. It's really a shame that they did not continue him on for multiple seasons. He is scary as fuck. And he's voiced by Jason Isaacs, who does a great job. Callus is a character though that is pretty good that can carry us on for multiple seasons. I just think these episodes, like, it took me a while. It took me like about 8 episodes to get into the show. When we started seeing that episode about the mystery of Zebo and things like that, I'm like, I actually wanted to know some of that. It felt like the show just kind of had random episodes with these characters meandering for the first season of it, and I don't. And some of it was to give you more like character work, but some of the characters here, I'm sorry, are just bad. I don't like Ezra. I don't think he works as a character. Sabine, I never realized how bad of a character Sabine was, because Sabine is cool, but the problem with her is that she's a 16-year-old girl who's like, she was in like she was trained in the Empire for a little bit. She was also a Mandalorian princess. Like, all these layers of things that happened to her, and you're like, she's fucking 16. This shit is nonsense. And she has to be 16 because she has to be, kind of Ezra's implied love interest. But like, it's kind of like, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't really like that, but there's good stuff in here. But honestly, season 1 was kind of like a slog to get through. I kind of forgot how kind of like lame, other than the Inquisitor stuff and a couple decent episodes in here I really like. I forgot how much of a slog this was to get through. Season 2 is a little bit better because you start getting introduced to some stuff that we'll talk about, but here it just felt like, oh, I don't know. And I guess spoilers for a show that's been over and well and done with and has a sequel show already. Um, Ahsoka was coming back, was cool, but it still felt like, man, we just wanted Clone Wars back. So, I don't know. Rebels season 1, it's a whole thing.